Welcome to Essentials to Heal Yourself. I'm Laura Lee Humphreys. So today we're going to talk about one of the 4 areas of yourself that you need to really look at and consider in order to heal yourself of anything. And that is your mental state, your mental health. Now, there's a lot of things that we can look at in this, but what I want to focus on today is really an expression of one of the deepest core issues or things that you really need to heal and transform on your mental self in order to heal. Okay, so just follow me through this little scenario. Think of a time when you went to visit your doctor in the allopathic medical system, or actually any doctor. Did they really listen to you and take into account what you were saying? Did they really hear what you needed to express as to why you were there and what you needed help with? How much time did they spend with you? Or was it just like 5-10 minutes, long enough just to write out a prescription pad and shuffle you off to the pharmacy? When you take into account all the things that they suggested and told you, how did you respond to that? Did you blindly believe everything and just swallow it hook, line, and sinker and then go along and do everything that they said? Or did you step back and question it? Did you get a second or a third opinion? Did you ignore and discount your inner nudgings and feelings of what your body was telling you? Did you distrust your own intuition? You know, this is an expression of a very deep, pernicious belief in social conditioning that has been shoved on us for generations, for decades, from the media, the education, the social pressure, and especially the medical establishment. And that is the belief that we can't know how our body works. We don't understand it. Therefore, we can't know what we need in order to heal ourselves of anything and then maintain health. Instead, what we're told that we're supposed to do is look to an outside authority, another human being, to give us those answers, because we're told that that person is specially trained at a school to be able to diagnose and treat you. And therefore, they now have the authority to do so. And so we're supposed to listen to them. Because, you see, we're supposed to believe that development of disease is a mystery, that we don't know how it happens, it just shows up. And so we have to look to the doctor and their credentials to be able to tell us those answers. And yet, if you really look closely at how the medical model works, they're not interested in actually helping you heal and get better, to finding the cause of things. Their whole medical model is set up on only suppressing and hiding the symptoms with drugs, medications, surgeries, etc., so that you never really fully find the problem and solve it, because it's not in their business model. As long as they can keep you just sick enough that you need their medications and their drugs, and so that you're on them for life, and yet you're well enough to kind of sort of go out and function in society and keep a job, then that works for them, because now they have a customer for life, therefore they have cash flow for life. At the end of the day, in the allopathic medical system, that's all that matters. That's all they care about is profits. So why is this so destructive for you? Well, it sets you up in a position to where you abdicate your power and responsibility and authority over yourself to an outside person, the doctor. You're taught to believe that you're supposed to treat them as if they're an all-knowing God. This sets up a very codependent relationship with you and the system, and even you with your doctor. Now, within the medical system, there are a lot of really good humans that truly do want to help you, that truly do want to see you get better. I'm not discounting any of that. So do not get this twisted is what I'm saying. It's the system that we're looking at, not the people. So when you have a doctor, oftentimes these individuals, these other humans, because they want to help you, they willingly take on responsibility for your health, for seeing you to get better, because you've abdicated it to them, you've given it to them, and so they've taken it and received it. And yet, that is, honestly, that is not something that they can take on. It's not something that they can really do at the end of the day. And so now you're in this codependent relationship with your doctor, and you both lose in the end. Over time, having taken on full responsibility for all of their patients' health, that's an extremely heavy weight. It's a lot of pressure and tension. And after years of doing this, of carrying this unnecessary weight, that individual can break down physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. That's not a good scenario for a doctor, for another human. For you, it teaches you that you can continue abdicating and turning over your responsibility for yourself and your health. And this hijacks and stops your development and your growth. It keeps you into a permanent child-level state of consciousness. And out of that develops a deep state of victim consciousness. You never learn how to take care of yourself. You never learn how to claim responsibility for yourself. Instead, now you have a nanny, always telling you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And so when something goes wrong, as it inevitably will, now you have someone else other than you to blame and to criticize and to judge. When you're in this situation, this dynamic of codependency with another person within this system, you're abdicating your responsibility and your power and your authority over your health. Do you know what you've actually just done? You have consented to being enslaved. Now this other so-called authority outside of yourself has control over you. Is that what you really want? Think about it. The inevitable end result of this situation is a mindset that is extremely negative, pessimistic defeatism. And out of that, it seeps through your entire life. This negative habitual mindset seeps through your entire life like a cancer. The words you say to yourself, the thoughts, the feelings, the attitudes, the beliefs about yourself and your body and your ability to heal and even your state of health. You develop this state of feeling like you're helpless. It's hopeless. You can't do anything to change your state. And that is the worst place to be, because when you're in that mental state of pessimism and negativity, you cannot heal anything. Your body responds to that pessimism by creating more aches and pains and illness. Now, I know you may have taken steps to come out from this dynamic. You've probably seen the social conditioning, which is wonderful and great. And yet I ask you and even challenge you, when push comes to shove, I bet you default right back into this, don't you? This social conditioning is so deep, it controls us in a lot of different subtle ways. And unless or until we're willing to really start observing and looking at all this and how we respond to it, we're not going to be able to come out from underneath this crippling social conditioning. And because it is so pervasive, I can say that it is by design to keep you in that child level state of consciousness so that you're dependent upon this system, constantly giving over your life force energy and your money and your time to them to keep them going and profitable at your expense. So how can you start to unravel all of this and come out from underneath such a negative habitual attitude? Well, you've got to learn to start becoming very aware of yourself. So here's an example, or here's an exercise I'm going to share with you that you can do. It's only going to be one day. You can do it for more than you'd like, but just start with one day. From the time you wake up in the morning until you go to bed at night, just do this exercise. So keep a notebook with you, close by you all the time. And catch yourself, really observe and hone in and monitor yourself. Every time you think something negative, you speak something negative, you feel something negative towards yourself, your situation, your other people, whatever. Doesn't matter. As long as it's negative or pessimistic, catch yourself and just make a check mark or a mark in your notebook. Every time you have a negative thought, just make a mark. Then at the end of the day, add up all those marks. And you could be really surprised and shocked to find out and discover just how much negativity and pessimism pervades your mindset, pervades your outlook in your day. And as you're counting up all those marks, and again, check yourself to make sure that you are not criticizing and condemning yourself while you're adding all those marks up, because you could fall into that trap. But the big thing is just to recognize how you are spending your life force energy, how you are directing it, because you are the only one capable of directing your life force energy. That is your point of power. So as you become aware of this, what are you going to do? What are you going to choose? You're going to continue being in this rut of negativity, this soup, and just go into denial and continue doing what you've been doing and griping and moaning and complaining about everything in your life? Or are you going to choose to start taking steps to come out of it? Even if you've done a lot of work, then, and you just need to fine tune things, then this is a good checkpoint that you can do just to kind of see where you're at and what things need to be up-leveled or fine-tuned. So look at all of that and then pick something, one thought that you could commonly tell yourself that's negative. Then flip it around. What is the positive statement of that same thing? Then the next day, start telling yourself that as often as you can think of. Even, like wrap a thread around your wrist or something in your environment to remind you whenever you look at that thing in your environment, in your house, as a reminder to say, oh, I need to think of something positive to myself. I can say something positive about myself. And I know at first it will feel really weird and strange because it's out of your comfort zone and it's unfamiliar, but yet that's what needs to happen in order for you to create new habits. So keep your notebook with you, close to you, as a barometer so that you can track your progress. And just note down how all the different times that you say something negative as well as say something positive. So that over, say 3 months worth, then you'll have a track record to look back to say, wow, I've really have come a long ways. I've really made progress with this. And then eventually, if you continue with this, coming up with new positive things to say to yourself and positive things to say about your life and other people in it, you'll gradually find that that becomes your new norm, your new familiarity habit. And the majority of what you think and say then becomes positive. And as a result, the people will respond to you in a different way. Your life will look different and feel different. And even new opportunities and possibilities can show up now that you're in a much higher state of vibration or consciousness because you're more positive. And even your body will respond to the shift of your mental attitude. A lot of aches and pains will go away. You'll feel better. And it's easier for you to do the things and actions and activities required to heal yourself. So I hope this helps, gives you some inspiration for today, gives you some an exercise that you can play with. I encourage you to do so. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What is your big takeaway from this video? What are some of the things that you'd like to change about yourself? So share this video around, subscribe to my channel. And in the description of this video, then you will find a free download gift that I have for you. And that is one that talks about the 4 different aspects of yourself that are required to address in order to heal yourself. What I talked about today, your mental state of health, is only one of those 4. So grab that PDF, that free gift from me to look at the other 3 aspects of yourself, and enjoy it and take care. I'll talk to you soon.